Hey, Prez, how are you?
Hey Lisa, how you doing today?
Pretty good, pretty good. Yeah, some of your, well, I guess our supporters and subscribers, you've rubbed off on them because I see in the comments they calling Miss Lisa.
Really?
Yes, like Neo. I actually just started following Neo this weekend. Um, so let's talk about it. But first, let's get the topic out of extra topic that kind of came onto the agenda suddenly because it had occurred after we had set up our show. But I would like to start off by saying I'm very sorry to the people that have been most affected by this assassination attempt on former President Trump's life because, from what I've read, he will be back on the campaign trail in Pittsburgh or, whatever his next stop was tomorrow. But there are others that lost their family member or their family member is in a critical condition in the hospital right now. So my thoughts are with them. Um, what did you think when you saw those headlines yesterday, Press?
Very sad, very tragic. We need to do better as a nation. I don't deal in politics at all. I don't support either side, but a tragedy like this is unacceptable in my opinion. Like I don't agree with anyone having an attempt on their life. Like nobody deserves to go out like that. I don't give a care what they did in their life or what they said bad or however we have our personal feelings about this particular person. Like that's still somebody's child, that's still somebody's dad, that's still somebody's husband at the end of the day. And we just got to do better as a nation, as people. We are divided, and meanwhile, the rich is getting richer at the end of the day. That's why I choose not to get involved into uh, political issues. But my honest opinion on it, I will give my honest opinion on it. My prayers go out to him and his family, as well as the current president. I hope nothing happens to him, no attempt is on his life, anything like that. It's in my opinion, is only a distraction to keep us distracted off of the bigger picture, and that is becoming financially free, so we won't have to depend on who's in office and who the politicians are and things of that nature. We'll be able to be self-sufficient financially, and we
Yeah.
can pretty much make our own rules. As long as we're following the laws of the land, we can pretty much make our own rules. We can go on vacation whenever we want. We can buy things whenever we want. We don't have to worry about being strapped for cash and things of that nature. But at the end of the day, it takes hard work and dedication. It's not going to come overnight. I say that over and over again. Like we're not going to become wealthy overnight. We got to put that hard work in.
Yeah. Agreed, agreed. So let me share one headline because I'm going to bring this back to our normal topic, which is, strictly finance investing. So it says here that Bitcoin price suddenly soars over 60K after Trump assassination attempt sends his odds of victory to an all-time high. Did you see any headlines like this related to Bitcoin or the overall stock market? And do you have any thoughts on that?
I haven't actually had a chance to look over headlines. I've been busy preparing for this show, studying over my notes most of the day.
Mm-hmm.
So I really haven't looked at any headlines, but I did notice that the crypto market is performing really well over the past few days since this tragic event just happened. But we all know that this candidate is pro crypto per according to what he says. So it could be I can't even think of what I wanted to say, but
So, right below the headline that I read is a headline from a day ago saying that Bitcoin soars towards 60K after the June CPI data shows inflation slowdown. So, I don't know how I feel about it right now either. I'm definitely going to read more and do some more research because this event with with concerning Trump just happened yesterday, but is this really tied together the way that they're trying to make it seem? Um, and obviously, I definitely believe you don't have to try to convince me that in times of political uncertainty, investors, um, the overall market will be impacted. But I don't know how I feel about these type of headlines that popped up today and the correlation between that event and the increase in Bitcoin. Bitcoin was already pushing up, I thought, based on other factors. But do in times like this, is Bitcoin seen as a safe haven asset that really drives people that quickly to cause a fluctuation in the price? Um, so just wanted to share that. I'm really still, like Prez said, this just happened and we're trying to still get our head around it, but maybe another time we will revisit the topic. What do you think, Prez?
Yeah, yeah. I'm stand neutral like I always do when it comes to politics and things of that nature. Because my personal views, I feel like politics in general is just a distraction. And I'm trying my best just to stay clear of the distractions. I'm trying to keep my head on straight and stay on my path. Like at the end of the day, like no one's coming to save me but me.
Yeah.
And I have to, stay the course. I had to stay the course and stay disciplined and stay undistracted by these the outside noise. I had to just tune it down, put my earbuds in, and continue to do what I'm doing on a daily basis.
Yeah. Same here. I'm not trying to, this show is not about anything political. I just wanted to say a little bit about that. Um, Also, before we move on to our regularly scheduled topic, let's just take a minute to greet everyone that's come in. Um,
I see
Thank you.
Stock Brother. What's up, Stock Brother? Let's get that paper. Nate, good morning. I mean, not good morning. Good afternoon to you. I see Trell in the chat. Sweet Melissa.
Thank,
Thank you guys for
thank you.
all tuning in. We really appreciate it.
Yes. Thank you guys for tuning in. But yes, before we get off of this political impact on the stock market, any thoughts on DGT
I'm
and
not
what it
touching
might,
it.
you're not touching?
I didn't mean to
Oh,
cut you off, but I'm not touching it.
oh.
I feel like all money is not good money. That's just my opinion.
Mhm.
Now, I know that people probably will. It could be potentially a good opportunity for someone to make money off of it. But my own morals and principles, because this is a tragic event, as far as someone could have possibly lost their life, I'm not thinking about trying to make money off of this particular situation right here. I'm just going to continue to stay my course. If I were to give my true opinions on to as to why I don't deal in politics, I will probably ruffle some feathers. So I'm just gonna, keep
Okay,
quiet, continue to keep quiet about it,
let's mhm.
and just continue to stay neutral. Because mm.
All right, let's leave that alone then. We don't want to
I
get
don't want to
too
ruffle
deep
no
into
feathers.
it. But for those of you who may be interested, DGT stock as of right now is 30.88 and DGTWW is 19.43. And we shall see if that makes any moves this week. I know both I watched Larry Jones and Keenan Grace's videos this afternoon, and they both mentioned DGT, DJT stock. So we shall see what happens with that in the pre-market as well as throughout, the next few days. I don't know. I don't plan on touching it either, but
However, I will put it on the watch list for for my live show tomorrow morning for those who are trying to play it and they need a little bit of insight and honest opinion as to the technical aspects of the price action. I will do that at least. But me personally, the same way I deal with meme stocks, like I'm not touching it.
I figured. But okay, let's move on to Our regularly scheduled program, what the Fed said. So let's touch on the Fed, uh, what occurred throughout the week from the Fed chairman. So, Prez, you want to get started with that?
Okay, so basically on Tuesday, he spoke in front of the House, and on Wednesday, he spoke in front of Congress for his semi-annual update on the monetary policy. So, in layman terms, I'm gonna try to keep it as simple as I possibly can. He's basically saying he's getting closer to feeling more comfortable with lowering interest rates. Now, of course, we all know that the Fed is very data driven, and as long as we can continue to have good data reports as far as inflation coming down and unemployment being stabilized, because now he's looking at unemployment as well, because the unemployment rate is slowly but surely starting to tick up. And the last thing that the Fed wants is for us to be in a recession, especially during an election year.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel as though my take on it, I feel as though he's softening up. He's slowly but surely softening up, getting more and more dovish. So the market had already priced in the good CPI data, which was released on Thursday. And it was pretty much a buy the rumor, sell the news event. Like we slowly increased as far as the S&P and the Nasdaq. We made new all-time highs right before the data was dropped. And as soon as the data dropped, then we had like a short-term sell-off, and then we slowly but surely recovered.
Okay, I agree with you on more positive data will help the decision on rate cuts coming sooner than later. So, all right, let's move on to the CPI data, which was released on Thursday. What is your update for us on that?
The CPI data was a they actually had a good report. We beat CPI expectations, and but like I said, the market had already priced that information in. So as soon as the data was released, the market pretty much fell off of a cliff in the short term. But we slowly recovered before the day ended on Thursday, and then on Friday we had PPI data, which is the price that the producers pay for their goods and service. CPI is the price that we as the consumers pay for our goods and service. For those who don't know what CPI and PPI is, and it was a slight miss. So the market didn't really react much initially, but later on in the day we did have a rally. I say sometime after lunch, early afternoon, with a good old fashioned profit taking sell off into the sunset before market closed on Friday. But we still closed green overall. We just ran up, made new all-time highs once again, and then we had some profit taken from the institutional investors institutional investors and traders on Friday, because we already know they'd like to take majority of their risk off the table on Friday afternoon, because we're going over the weekend. Like we just had this event that happened with the presidential candidate, and the market could tank Monday morning. We never know. So why not take some profit off of the table and minimize your risk?
Okay, so what does that mean for you personally? What does that statement mean for what you're going to be doing going forward into this week?
I'm going to continue to dollar cost average as always.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and I'm going to be looking for trading opportunities. Like I don't know what the market is going to do. I have no prediction. I don't have a crystal ball. We all know who do, but I'm just going to continue to trade the market that I'm in. I'm going to continue to dollar cost average for the long term, and those are pretty much my plans. I made a plan before I got started, and I'm going to stick to it.
Okay. Okay. So I know you just finished week 25 in your YouTube portfolio.
Yes.
So this coming week, starting tomorrow, will you be working on level two?
I haven't really decided yet. I
Okay.
kind of sort
So
of want to do another week of VTI and then
okay.
work on level three, but I haven't really decided yet. I'm still fighting with the decision. Like I'm able to do so, like if I wanted to. It would slightly bring my VTI position down to about 59%, and I'm okay with that for the short term, because that following week I will be right back in the VTI. But I haven't really decided yet. That's like I was just sitting there looking at it before we came live, and I'm like, what should I do? What should I do? Like, I got to make a decision. It's Sunday. I need to make a decision. But
Oh,
I'll finally make a decision before I go to bed tonight, and I'll already have my buy order set. So when the market opens tomorrow and I'm live, I won't even have to worry about it. It'll already be set and forget about.
okay. All right. Want to say a quick thank you to Peachy for tuning in and sharing us out. Um, all right. So I know I was asking questions on your portfolio update yesterday, which Frez puts out every Saturday at
Hmm.
2 p.m. Eastern. Um, and I was thinking to myself, Frez is going to think, what is wrong with her? Why doesn't she know already? It's 25 weeks in. But I think I was just trying to get an understanding of, you know, I knew last week, I thought I knew last week you were working on level one. So I was just trying to get a handle on, do you rotate the levels by week or, because I know it's $5 a day, but I was still like, I just don't get it. But I think
How
I
I
do.
do it, I'll
Yeah.
explain it to you really quick. I look
Okay.
at the percentage of the portfolio allocation for each position. Now, the particular brokerage app that I'm using, which is public.com investing app, as soon as I make my deposit on Friday night after I take all of my screenshots for my portfolio update, I'll make my $25 deposit. Automatically, it'll show me the new percentage allocation for each position.
Hmm.
So I get to go through and look, and it'll let me know what I need to be working on this upcoming week. And this is all done before I even air the portfolio update.
Okay. All right. And then from there, you build in your own flexibility of which you combined where you're at percentage wise with your
Hmm.
own personal feelings or what's going on with the market,
Right.
with what level you're going to work on.
Hmm. I
Okay.
just strictly work off the percentages, the percentage allocation for each position. That's the only thing that I'm looking at. That's what I know where I need to be investing my money next. I look at the percentage allocation. Like for example, VTI is currently at after I made my deposit, it's currently at, give me 1 second. It's currently at 59.82% of the entire portfolio. So I can either do another week of VTI or I could work on level three of my pyramid. I'm pretty much done with level two this week. I don't want to add anything to level two this week. I want to
Mm-hmm.
try to add more to level three to build that level out a little bit more. And what's on that level, for those who don't know, I have Amazon, Realty Income, Alphabet, Meta, and Eli Lilly. Those are the five companies that currently reside on level three of my pyramid. And I would like to add a little bit more to those positions.
Okay. I wasn't even going to ask you that because I know you tell you whenever I start to talk about it too much, you're like, they need to tune in to the the update on Saturday.
I don't mind because I noticed I'm getting a nice influx of viewers that aren't currently in the market at all, and they're very curious, they're very eager to learn. Like I've gotten comments like I'll be your number one student and things of that nature, and I welcome it with open arms. Like I love for people to ask me questions, but at the end of the day I always tell you I haven't been in the market space very long, but I'm a
Mhm,
fast learner and I like to share what I learn. And if I don't know something, you ask me a question, we can sit down and learn it together. Like I don't mind doing something like that. Like we're here to help each other out at the end of the day. I learn from other content creators, and other content creators, I'm sure they learn from me. I hear them saying some of the analogies that I use, like a basket of stocks. I've never heard that
mhm,
anywhere else. But now I'm hearing more and more people say, oh, yeah, ETF is a basket of stocks. A REIT is
mhm,
like a basket of real estate. Like that's how I
mhm.
grasped that concept when I Googled it and used Chat GPT to break it down. I'm sorry. I tell Chat GPT to explain this term to me as if I was 10 years old.
Yes,
That way I
yes.
can fully understand what's going on, with this terminology and things of that nature. So I'm able to give a great analogy on it when I'm explaining it to someone who doesn't know anything about this space.
Okay. All right. Thank you, Miss V, for being uh, a great mod and member out there working in the chat. Um, yeah. So, do you have SCHD or SPHD in your portfolio?
I have it in my Roth IRA. I don't have
Okay,
it in the
not in the
YouTube
YouTube
portfolio.
portfolio.
However, since being as though this is week 26, this will be 6 months that I've been working on this project. I am
Mhm.
considering taking a pause after this week and shifting over to my newer project, my dividend portfolio, because I haven't been able to keep up with the deposits on that. I'm like weeks behind on that, and I would like to have more exposure to monthly dividend paying companies. So I'm considering, I haven't decided yet, I'm considering shifting focus over to that particular portfolio and putting this one on pause for just a little while. I'm not going to sell it off, but I'm thinking about putting it on pause for now and shifting my focus over to something that pays more dividends because I don't have enough dividend paying companies in any of my investment portfolios. And I kind
Okay.
of feel bad about that.
Mhm. Mhm. Yeah. Some of I mean I have four that I strategically chose for that reason, but others it was just coincidental because I wanted to have, the Apple, Google now has a dividend, and certain things. It wasn't my main focus. I just wanted them as a growth stock, but I also get the dividend along with it. So I got us a little off track, but let's get back to PPI data and market movement. So, what are your thoughts on that and wanting that to be a part of this week's agenda?
Okay, so what I'm gathering is the market is expecting Jerome Powell to begin lowering interest rates as early as September. So we could slowly increase until then. I'm not sure as far as what economic data is coming out this week. I don't think anything of importance is coming out this week as far as economic data is concerned. I'll double check later this evening and I'll have a full report on that tomorrow morning. But like I said, I'm going to continue to trade the market that I'm in as far as trading is concerned. As far as investing, I'm going to continue to dollar cost average as much as I possibly can afford. If I make extra money trading this week, then I will be adding more to my Roth IRA account. I'm hoping. Let's pray that all goes well as far as my trading journey is concerned.
Okay, okay.
DJT stock, I'm not touching it, Nora.
I
I'm
don't
not
know.
touching it.
I'm not sure what time Laura came into the chat if she just got here, but we did talk a little bit about that when we started off the show. Um, so, yes. Now let's touch on so before I move on, so are there any individual stocks? I know you primarily, when you talk about trading, I know your two of your go-tos are the SPY and QQQ. Are there any individual companies that you're eyeing this week for potential trades during your live throughout this week? Or at least for tomorrow, because I know we can't project the whole week on which direction and where we might be looking.
As far as trades for individual stocks, no, I'm not currently looking at any companies in particular. Um, I had to take some time and do a little more homework as to on expectations on this week. I'm going to go over who's reporting earnings this week. I don't typically play earnings, but I do occasionally like to get involved in buy the rumor, sell the news type of events. So if I see an opportunity, I will keep my viewers informed as to what I'm looking at and what price points I'm looking to get into, what stop loss I'm willing to set for said trades if I find any. But I don't typically like to trade individual companies simply because they are easier for institutions to manipulate as far as the price wise, as far as the price action is concerned. Especially the meme stocks. I don't know if you guys noticed that a lot of times when these meme stocks have big pops to the upside, like they'll start putting halts on the price action, meaning you can't get in or out. No price action is going on to whenever they feel as though they want to unhalt these particular companies.
Mhm.
That's my main reason why I do not like. I really don't like touching individual companies for that reason alone.
Okay. Yeah, I can say I've had success with both. Unlike you, I prefer calls to puts. I don't know if you prefer, but I know you said that when you really got into the market with doing options trading, it was at a time where puts were more prevalent, and that's really where you learned and made your money. I can't
Mhm.
seem to. I don't know. They don't. It doesn't seem like they go well for me. I prefer to play calls on whether it's individual stocks or on the SPY. But it could be just the way my brain works. You do
So
you
here's
find
the
it
reason why
equally?
I prefer puts over calls, because if you know anything about candlesticks, the that's the actual chart that you're looking at. If you notice, a red candle will flush down much faster than a green candle will shoot up. So a lot of people, a lot of the institutional investors, they prefer to play the bearish side of the trade than the bullish side of the trade, because they can make faster money because of that fast flush down. Like, once it's like a domino effect. Once one person starts selling off, everybody starts panic selling. It starts coming down even faster, twice as fast than what it would do if it were to be trending in the uptrend.
Okay. Well, maybe this will be my week for me to play a put and see and have some success and change my minds about it a little bit. All right, so let's move on to the financial sector that had their market updates, including JP Morgan Chase, Citibank, Wells Fargo. Um, what are your thoughts on that? Because I know that's something else that you want to include it today. And all three of these banks that I just mentioned, they reported better than expected earnings. But what was the overall impact from your point of view?
As far as the forward guidance, that's the main thing. Yeah, like, a company can beat earnings all day long.
Mm-hmm.
JP Morgan, I'm gonna start with JP Morgan. Their earnings per share was a slight miss at negative 2.40%, but they beat their revenue expectations for a total of 9.94%. Now, as far as the forward guidance, I didn't actually listen to the earnings call, but I noticed right after these three companies reported earnings, we had a slight pullback across the financial sector for that day. Let me see if I can take a quick sneak peek real quick behind the scenes. So Wells Fargo closed out down 6.02%.
Mm-hmm.
Citi closed down 1.81%, and JP Morgan closed down 1.21%. I believe Wells Fargo took the hardest hit out of them three. I don't own any of these financial companies long term for my own personal reasons, but it could have been a possible trading opportunity to the downside for someone who likes to trade individual companies, especially the financial sector. Or it could have been a good investment buying opportunity for those who would like to have direct exposure to the financial sector. I believe JP Morgan is the world's largest bank, the nation's largest bank, and the most prominent, the most profitable. So it could have been an easy buying opportunity, a good buying opportunity for someone who wants to invest into these financial companies for the long term. I'll be
Okay.
keeping a close eye out on the performance of these three throughout the week. I think they could possibly recover from those declines, because I'm noticing, since we had a shift in since we had CPI data and PPI data that was just released, I'm noticing a shift, a rotation, and a sector rotation as far as where investors are starting to put their money up. They're moving it out of big tech and starting to move it into other sectors, I'm noticing. Whereas though a few short weeks ago, we had the tech sector that was leading the market rally, this upswing, this current uptrend that we're on.
So, what are other two sectors that you think are starting to people are starting to gravitate more to?
I'm noticing the rate hike sensitive sectors are starting to perform a little better, like your realty income. Realty income performed really well on Friday. Give me 1 second. Realty income closed up 1.36% on Friday. They've been on a nice uptrend since we've had the CPI and PPI data release. And you should have been buying it when it was beat down, basically, is what I'm trying to say. But it is still a good long-term investment, in my opinion. It's a good monthly dividend paying company. It's one of my favorite monthly dividend paying companies, if not
Mm-hmm.
my favorite. There aren't very many that are out there as far as individual companies are concerned. But I like Realty Income. I wish I could have bought more when it was sub $55, but it is what it is at the end of the day. I really like it under $55.
Okay. Um, Main Street Capital. That's another one for me up there with Realty Income, that has not disappointed. That doesn't have to. You don't have to wait for any. The stock price has increased. You're getting your monthly dividends, and unlike Realty Income that has pulled back in the stock price since I've been investing into it. And Realty Income, it's the sheer size wise, it's my largest holding. It's the only in my personal taxable accounts. It's the only position that I have that's over 100 shares.
I
So
see a
not.
question in the chat. I didn't mean to cut you off.
Mhm.
Um, CC, I believe I hope I'm not pronouncing your name wrong. Says, what's a good way to see the money moving from one sector to a different one? I simply look at the heat map. There are 11 sectors in the stock market, and you have what is called on a lot of these platforms that we use to invest into. You can even Google the stock market heat map, and it'll have all of the sectors on like a grid, to as though you can see the performance per day as to what these particular sectors are doing. And you can pretty much put two and two together and notice the increase and then decrease in certain sectors.
Mhm. Mhm. Yeah, I use my heat map right off of my Moo Moo app. But yes, you can definitely pull it up on the computer. But you know, inside of Moomoo, you have like everything right at your fingertips. So many
Hmm.
different calendars and ways to look up certain things are all built in there. Um, okay, so yes, this financial, uh, these big banks and their earnings report. Let's see. I was reading about a warning that inflation might stay higher than what the market currently expects. So, long term interest rates could stay high for a longer period of time due to the persistent inflation. So, with the banks, they're going to be impacted on the way that these things are trending. I saw that SoFi, they're being impacted because not that they had earnings, but just crossed my mind. SoFi was being impacted because they're now trying to do a little bit more of personal lending, unsecured type of lending. And that is kind of a more riskier place to a direction to go for the company. But, they're finding their balance and, with interest rates high, they're definitely making out. Uh, when it comes to lending money and loans. But we are also still, as I shared in one of my videos this week, we're still, when it comes to our high yield savings accounts, our money market accounts, and things like that, we're still able to, on the other end of the spectrum, get those higher rates there. So I hope everyone is taking advantage of that. So, anything else on the big banks as far as market update that we didn't touch on yet, Prez?
I'm sorry, I was muted. Now,
Oh,
as far as I know, that's about it. As far as the report on the three banks that reported earnings on Friday, like I said, I'm just going to continue to track the performance this week, this upcoming week, to see if they have some sort of recovery or rally or something like that. Like I said, I don't own any of these three said companies that reported earnings long term due to my own personal reasons against these financial companies. Um, yeah, that's about it as far as those three are concerned.
yeah, I don't either. I know I had a little bit of Bank of America, I think, in my M1 account, which I've gotten rid of. But yeah, it's just not a place. I am a more heavily into tech when it comes to outside of my ETFs and index funds. The tech is where I've pretty much done my investing and, also in crypto. So let's, I see Trell is mentioning ARCC. If you want to put that down as something to look at, Prez, I know sometimes you keep a list going of different things that people mention.
Yeah, I do.
Yes, he feels that is another investment comparable. or better than O and Main Street. So let's take a quick look at Michael's comment here. Thoughts on legacy tech companies like IPM, Intel, Cisco, etc. Are they still are they good to still hold still? Well, I'm
As
getting
far
towards
as IBM, I would have to really. Matter of fact, I'm gonna write those down, and I'm gonna do a little research. I don't know much about the financials or the fundamentals for that matter, but I will write those down and do a little research and get back with you. So just be sure to tune in sometime this week, probably tomorrow, because I don't
and
have much this evening.
mhm.
But I'll do a deeper dive behind the scenes, and I'll get back to you as far as my opinion on those three companies. I like
Intel.
Intel. I didn't even know IBM still existed. But
Yeah, I was gonna
I
say
know about Intel. I like Intel, and I know about Cisco.
Intel's the only one that's on my radar, but not really prepared to speak on it off the top of my head unless we were going to just take time to pull it up. But let's finish getting through our topics of the day. Prez is usually the one that creates our topics for the week. I'm the thumbnail designer, and what else? What else am I good for, Prez?
Making the link, creating the link and sending it to me.
Prez makes me, yeah, Prez makes me drive, so he comes over to my StreamYard and we do this together. I tried to tell him, you want to drive this week? And he says, no, that's okay. um, so, anything else going on in the chat? All right. So, are we ready to move on to our bonus topic?
Yes,
Bonus.
fractional shares. I simply chose this one. I wanted to revisit this topic because, hang on, I'm looking for my notes. I wanted to revisit this topic because, like I said earlier, I'm noticing a nice influx of beginners and beginner curious investors that are coming into my viewership, my chat, that don't know anything about investing. So I'm here to tell you that whatever price that you see for a particular stock that you're interested in, and you feel as though you cannot afford the whole share, you can buy what is called a fractional share. Imagine a pie, and it's just sliced. You just slicing the pie so that you can buy slices of the pie. It's like putting your shares on layaway. That's another analogy that I like to use. So I briefly want to go over some pros and cons on investing into fractional shares. So the pros are they're affordable for any budget. Most brokerages that we deal with, you're able to purchase fractional shares for as low as $5. With the exception of Robinhood, you're able to buy fractional shares with just $1. You can invest just $1 a day if that's all you're able to afford. I will recommend you invest more than just $1 a day if you can, or try to create other streams of income so that you're able to invest more than just $1 a day. It's going to take you longer to achieve your financial goals as far as investing is concerned, but it's better than doing nothing at all. It's better than just relying on your paycheck to take care of you when you get old. It's better than relying on just Social Security. It's better than relying on just your 401k from your job to support you when you reach the age of retirement. You still have something extra. Nothing wrong with having a little extra as far as wealth is concerned. Um,
Can I throw something in here right here?
sure, sure,
Fidelity
sure.
Fidelity also starts at $1, and Fidelity happens to be where I invest for my daughter. So, you know, if it is a smaller amount, obviously we have as adults we have bigger goals that we may be facing. We need to get ready for retirement, but don't forget if there is smaller amounts that you want to do, you can do that for your family, your children, grandchildren, whomever. So yes, a
Wow,
dollar.
that's new to me. I didn't know. I never
Fidelity.
actually tried it. That's probably why I didn't know. I just
Yes.
automatically assumed that, oh, I need $5 because all of these other brokers that we use, They said minimum of $5. So I
No,
didn't. That's new to me.
Fidelity is $1 because I know if my daughter if there's only $50 cash in her account, two
Hmm.
of her investments that I do for her are going to be at 250. Her Home Depot and her Tesla are going to be $2.50 investments if her cash balance is 50. And then obviously if she has $100, if we're investing $100 on that particular day, and I do this just I try to keep it super easy and simple. So we have our breakdown of when we have $50, and we have our breakdown if we have $100. And then obviously, if we need to scale it up, we do. But usually that's my minimum that I'll do her investments at is when we're at a 50.
Also, as far as fractional shares is concerned, I do believe certain stocks you can trade fractional shares on Robinhood in the pre-market and after hours. I'm not sure exactly which ones off the top of my head, but I do remember purchasing fractional shares on Robinhood doing pre-market and after hour trading. Now, it is easier for you to dollar cost average because you may have a smaller budget, so it's easy to stay consistent as far as dollar cost averaging. I proved that over the last 6 months with my $5 a day investing project that I've been working on my channel.
Mm-hmm.
Um, it also limits your downside volatility as far as the price fluctuation is concerned. You don't have to really worry about an entry price or something like that. You can just continuously invest small amounts into good quality investment choices, not meme stocks and trades and things of that nature. Good quality ETFs, good quality blue chip companies that have a proven financial track record and things of that nature. Don't go in. I wouldn't recommend you go and start dollar cost averaging into meme stocks and high yield dividend paying companies that you really don't know much about because it's just because it has a high yield on it doesn't mean that it's a good company to invest into for the long term. It's like don't be one of those microwave kids. You have to slow bake this success. Don't be one of those microwave kids. Oh, I got to get this instant gratification. I got to hurry up and become a millionaire. It's not going to happen overnight. I'm sad to break the news to you, but it's not going to happen overnight.
All right. All right. So any more pros on your list there, Prez?
That's about it for the pros. Now let's get to the cons.
Okay.
On most brokers, you can only place a market order only. Some brokers will let you place a limit order for fractional shares. I recommend you do your research as to which ones they are. I don't have that written down in front of me. I believe Moo Moo allows you to make limit orders for your fractional shares as well as Fidelity, as far as I know. But I know Webull, you have to is a market order. I know public.com, that's a market order. I'm not sure about Charles Schwab because I do not currently have an account open with Charles Schwab. I don't hear many people talking about it, but that is also another good broker, a good legacy broker to have an account with. I just personally don't have one. I just never got around to doing so. I don't have the extra capital to open up a whole new account right now. And another con is if your dollar, let's say your dollar cost average into a trade or something like that, you're looking at it as a trade, but you want to dollar cost average into it. There's no stop loss unless you have full shares. Once you accumulate full shares, then you're able to set a stop
Mm,
loss only on the full shares. You cannot set a stop loss for, say,
okay.
you have 1.5 shares. You can only set a stop loss for that one share. That other piece, part of a share, that half a share, you cannot set a stop loss for that. You have to market sell it if you wanted to sell it. And you cannot trade in pre-market or after hours on most brokers. You can only buy it during market hours with a market order. That's the whatever price that the broker can fill it for that you see on the screen, it's gonna fill it. It's not like I want to wait till this drops down to $55. If it says 55.99, it's gonna fill it at 55.99. You just have to deal with it. But those are the cons. There's not many cons to investing in. I mean, buying fractional shares. There's more pros than cons, but I did want to briefly go over the cons. So for those who don't know, they you now know.
Yeah. As far as the being able to put a stop loss on a partial share, I hadn't thought about that one, but I think I pretty much had the same points that you were sharing. And as far as a con being limited availability on some platforms, it's pretty much non existent for me personally. I have gotten some comments from people saying that, you know, they don't have availability on whatever platform they use, but it has not. I don't use Robinhood. I've never had an account on Robinhood, so I cannot speak on that. I closed my M1. So currently what I'm using is for retirement and for my daughter's accounts, her Fidelity Youth account and her UTMA is Fidelity. And then for my own taxable accounts, I use Public, Webull, and Moo Moo right now. So that's where I'm familiar. And Moo Moo has recently stepped it up and finally gotten on board with having more features. And two of the features that I think many people were waiting for is to have options that have the fractional shares, which, you know, many do now, and having the drip being able to be automatic. So making some improvements there, but not anything that's ever hindered me from being able to. There's never been an investment, a company, crypto. There's never been anything that I wanted to invest into that I couldn't. Even if I started at a small amount, $5, a quarter of a share, whatever it was, I've always been able to fit it into what I was trying to accomplish. And on this topic of fractional shares, I just want to share the screen for a second. So I started to invest into FXAIX in late September of last year. And some people have said to me, I've gotten the question, why didn't you just invest all at once? And if I had, so this is what, August. So if I had invested all at once, I would not have been able to take advantage of this dip that you see down going here throughout October and even into the beginning of November. There was definitely a good opportunity there for me to dollar cost average before we got to the top um, in March, as well as, you know, where we're at currently. By dollar cost averaging, I'm able to take advantage of some lower price points. And then once all of those prices average together, you see here, FXAIX is $195.04, but my cost average is $161.62. So another reason why I love dollar cost averaging for so many reasons. It can really help you to overall get a lower average on your investments. It allows you to be able to break it down by paycheck, by day, whatever you want to do as far as building your investment strategy. So I think it's something that we have both made sure to do videos on and let everyone know that there's no reason everyone can invest. And obviously we have to strive to invest a lot more than $10 daily or $5 daily. My goal with my retirement between what I'm contributing, what an employer potentially would be contributing, and not counting any Social Security, but I do sometimes think about the potential pensions that I'm supposed to receive, especially from the first company that I worked at for a significant amount of time. So with all of that, I want to be at 15% of a contribution towards my retirement. And in addition to that, I have my taxable accounts that I want to be able to tap into an early retirement. And that's where I really focus on my dollar cost averaging into VTI, VOO, and then the blue chip stocks, Bitcoin, those type of things, Ethereum. So I mean, it really, really opening up to it and embracing it, as I've been saying throughout last week. Embracing dollar cost averaging can really change your life and change your potential for being able to invest, because it's just being consistent is what is key in being able to make these achievements. And I know like Prez said, it doesn't happen overnight, but give it a chance. Give yourself a goal. Say, I'm going to do this for 20 weeks, or set yourself a first goal and see what you can accomplish, and then keep on going. But if you're not going to see, I'm not telling anybody here you're going to see results overnight. It's not going to happen like that. But like, I'm about, I think about 95 or 96 weeks in to investing into VTI every day that the market is open. So it didn't happen overnight, but I love to share that portfolio, especially, and it wasn't created for me to share on YouTube. I started that challenge before I had my YouTube channel, but I think it's something that is able for me to gauge and for me to share with others of, if you get started, what you can accomplish. So, anything else on this topic, Prez? Are you muted again?
No, that's about it as far as a fractional shares is concerned. It's not really a whole lot to it. It's really simple. Um, I encourage you to at least look into it. At least look into it. Get out of your own way. I say this every day, every week. Get out your own way. Um, Sit down, go over your budget. What are you able to afford to invest? If there are any changes you need to make to your budget, like what do I need to cut out of my budget? Like for me, I had a vending machine habit at work. I would refuse to take a lunch to work, but it was too far away from my job for the time that I had for my lunch break to drive to a restaurant or McDonald's or something like that. It was too far. So you know how they have like the canteen store. You got the sandwiches behind like the soda. I can't even find the word for it. But you got the
Mhm.
sandwiches, you got the candy bars, you got the sodas. I would be there every chance I got a break. I was spending $25 sometimes in one day, depending on how long my shift was, especially if it was a 12-hour shift. Because at that time on Saturdays and Sundays, I was working 12-hour shifts. So I will be at that canteen vending machine break room area constantly, just and the prices are inflated. You can easily get some of these same items at a dollar store or CVS or the market for that matter, the actual supermarket for that matter. And once I sat down and realized like how much money am I actually spending in this vending machine? I'm wondering, like I just got paid on Friday. Why am I running low on cash midway through the week? Oh, you spending too much money in that vending machine. Oh, that's what it is. So I really, really cut that out. I started taking a snack. A bag of cherries, a bag of grapes, something like that. I was a forklift driver at the time. I would just keep snacks on my forklift. I would wear cargo pants. I would have snacks all in the pockets of my cargo pants. These are things that I went out to the store and bought, and I kept it in my car. So for that reason, so I could stay away from that vending machine because I was spending way too much money in the vending machine. But that's just an example of something that you can cut out of your daily budget, your weekly budget, so that you can have more money to invest. Also, I recommend that you create some sort of extra revenue, some sort of side hustle. Make T-shirts if you're good at art, something like that. You can buy socks wholesale and sell them out. Sell them to your coworkers. Like I got these nice socks. The ladies wear those nice, pretty socks, and you can do something like that. That's just an idea of creating an extra stream of income so that you're able to invest as much as you possibly can.
Mhm. Yeah, I've talked about that. Like, my one of my little leaks was with I would always try to make sure to make my coffee and bring a bottle of soda or a bottle of water from home, even if I was going to have to buy food. That alone, just at least contributing the drink, was saving a few dollars on what I was gonna be. Um, what are we laughing at, brother? Let's
A
see.
brother was certainly. I had to start leaving my debit card at home, so I wouldn't go to that evil vending machine. Yeah, that vending machine, man. Oh my goodness. On top of that, buying coffee. I'm a coffee drinker. Like really, I drink coffee. So I would find myself going to, buying coffee on my way to work. paying $2.50 for a cup of coffee when I can go into the market and pay $10 for a nice big can of chock full of nuts, my favorite brand of coffee for those who don't know. And it lasts me almost a month. I got this nice big can that I only paid $10 for, and it lasts me almost a month versus me spending $250 a day, and I'm working 6 days a week, sometimes 7 days a week, because I at that time I was doing a lot of overtime
Yeah.
because I was wanting to have more money to invest. I wanted to contribute. I was contributing a little bit more than the company match at my job that I was at the time into the 401k. It was a match of 5%. Each year I was increasing it by 1%. So I started off at 5% with the company. Then that following year I was doing 6%. Then the following year after that I was doing 7%. So I was starting to see the change in my bring home pay, my net pay. Like I'm bringing home less, so I need to start spending less because I would like to invest more.
Mm. Yes, I agree with you. Yeah, I've never done that because I've never left my card home in order to keep me from spending. But there have
No.
been times when I really was saving for something that I would sit there and contemplate even the smallest of $1 or $2 purchase, like So,
Hmm.
but another thing I wanted to share, I was watching a TikTok. I won't say who it was shared from, but she was stressing that even after Nvidia stock split, Nvidia at $130, and she was saying that if that's too expensive, you can invest into Flex or Western Digital. Flex is about $30, Western Digital is about $80 a share, and looking for alternatives to Nvidia after the split of $130. And I really don't see the need for it. And this is another thing that I like to share. And I think you touched on this in what you were saying about we can have the good quality investments. We don't have to try to get something different because it's cheaper. And your analogy of layaway, this scenario is better than layaway, because even though we're putting our 5 or our 10 or our 20 at a time, even during that stage when it's a fractional of a share, when it's even if you only have zero point 0.1 of a share of Apple, you already own it. You own it. You're building towards getting to that first one full share. But if you never get to one full share of something, or wherever you are, if you have a fraction, you still own it, and it's a part of your portfolio. I know after I wasn't even to one full share of Nvidia when the stock split, and now I have, I think, 7 point something shares. But I think that is something that dollar cost averaging helped me many years ago let go of. You don't have to. Fred, who has you smirking over there? Something in the chat
No,
again?
I was just thinking about another analogy that I wanted
Oh,
to put out there to the single fellas in the chat. You can use that as a good pickup line in the bar. Like I'm a part owner of Apple.
but yeah, that's it. That's all I want to stress is I don't look for. I'm not here trying to. I'm open to lots of different things, but I'm not over here trying to chase something because it is the cheapest. I can have my little position of NVIDIA, which year to date is up 159%. I'll take that over investing into something else just because it's $30. Is it moving the way that some of these top of the Fortune 500 companies are moving? Is it something that I want to hold my position for the next decade and not really have a concern, with their growth? Um, so that's it. But yeah, I am open to trading stocks and keeping a more close eye on certain things. But that takes work. That takes work. That takes skill. That takes a willingness to potentially buy it at a slight loss, but and then reinvest into it and put in some extra work, be able to deal with the consequences. And if you don't want to do that, you may not want to dabble in something because it has a lower share price and maybe not the potential of, you know, like I'm saying, one of the top 10 companies in the country. So, Robert, your live this afternoon was lit. You had me impressed. We were already here in StreamYard watching you. And you were like, look at the screen. It was really good. You caught our attention.
Yeah.
Definitely. You were on fire over there. All right.
He
So
almost caused us to start late.
we were enjoying it. So if anybody has any questions, please drop it now because we're going to be wrapping up soon. And Prez, you have any station break for us for the day?
If
I'm
you
glad.
have not done so already, hit the like button, please. It really helps out the channel. It really helps us out. It really helps us get into the algorithm so that more people that are curious as to investing and learning how to invest, they can get this content. As far as me on my channel, I go live every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 9:15 p.m. I mean a.m. I'm sorry, 9:15 a.m. for overall market watch, and I look for potential trades and I explain my thought process throughout my live streams throughout the week. And occasionally, I haven't had it. I don't have it etched into my permanent channel schedule, but occasionally I do pop-ups in the afternoon at 3:15 p.m. Like say we get some sort of news, or the market is having a rally, or is taking a dump during lunch hours or something like that. I'll come back and give a little insight as to what's going on, some sort of news update. And I also give my viewers an opportunity on my 315 show to we evaluate different companies. I'll do a brief company evaluation, go over the technical aspects as to what's a good entry point for certain trades and investments for that matter, because there's nothing wrong with looking for a good entry point if you're looking at a new company to invest into over the long term. Okay, where should I be looking to get into this company at versus, oh, I'm going to get in now and then next week it's down 30%, like Nike, for example, because they missed their earnings. Although it's still a good company, but right after me personally, I got into Nike for the first time. It pretty much, I'm down over 20% in that particular position.
Mm,
Now, when the opportunity presents itself for me to add to that position and lower my cost average, I will do so because you see what's on my hat. And you can't see my feet, but I got a pair of Nikes on my feet, and that's about all I put on my feet. So I believe in Nike for the long term. Nike's not going anywhere. You still have people out here that buy sneakers and sell them for a higher price. You know, your sneakerheads, your sneaker collectors, and things of that nature. They buy the Jordans online and they sell them for a higher price because there's only a limited amount of this particular shoe that was made. So you have a lot of limited edition type of footwear that people sell online. That's another hustle that I noticed people doing, especially when we were all locked down during the scamdemic. And on top of that, Nike they're very healthy financially as a company. They just got a small little hiccup. They had a little bit of legal issues. But other than that, I don't think Nike is going anywhere. What other shoe looks better than Nike?
mhm. Yes, a company I know and love but have not ever invested into. Um, because you can't invest into everything. So uh, I like to keep my portfolio a little bit limited because you have to be mindful and do your research and put in the work with all these different companies. So what is catching your eye again over there, Press?
Neo being riff-raffing, Neo riff-raffing again. He said, Fred, you don't like the on running shoes over Nike? I never even heard of them. I never heard of them.
Yeah.
Um, I don't wear anything but Nike. I mean, I do own one pair of Adidas. I see Fast Eddie talking about Adidas, but I don't even wear them like that. It's just I
Mhm.
want to switch up. So I don't wear anything but Nike. That's just my personal preference. Simply because I don't have an arch in my foot. I'm flat footed, and The way Nikes are made is very comfortable. Is a very comfortable shoe for someone who don't have an arch in their foot, like
Really?
myself. My feet look like duck paddles.
Okay. I never would have known. But all right. So does anyone have any suggestions on any future topics they would like to hear from us? Do you want us to do like a all Q&A or review of different stocks? I have another question for the viewers. What is your favorite content? What is your favorite content from us individually, or is it this Sunday show? Let me know. Is it dividend portfolio update? Is it just stock market update? Is it Prez's Sunday YouTube portfolio, live trading? I'm just curious. Let's see. And Prez, do you remember my request? If you could share some options trades that may not necessarily be in line with your beliefs and budget, but
Okay, I got you. I see in the chat, Fast Eddie wants me to take a look at the Oracle and Palantir partnership. That's new to me. I'm writing it down. That's what I'm sitting here doing right now. I'm writing it down. I'm going through the comments, writing down, taking notes.
okay. Any thoughts on, or do you, off the top of your head? I know we're not prepared for it, but any thoughts on Broadcom?
I don't currently have any thoughts on Broadcom. I don't own it at all. However, it is included in VTI, so I actually do own it.
Anything?
I don't. I personally did not wasn't interested in having any direct exposure into it at this present moment. I've said this time and time again throughout this week. I don't have any room to add any more positions to any portfolios right now. I will have to wait till it's time to do some portfolio rebalancing, probably at the end of this year.
Mm-hmm.
I typically like to hold my investments for at least a year for tax reasons. Um, when the opportunity comes for me to add new things, I will probably, I don't know.
You don't
Right
think
now, I
that's
just don't
there?
know.
Yeah, I was thinking about it. I hadn't gotten to it yet. Um, and I think my alert is set lower to where it currently is. It's at $1,700. And let's see, and the stock split is coming up tomorrow. Is it tomorrow? Basis. It will be on a adjusted basis on July 15th. So yeah, it never came down to the price point of where I was looking for it before the split, and now the split is here. So um, don't
I
know that it
personally
will,
forgot all about that stock split.
you
I'm
did.
not even gonna lie, because I'm not currently invested into the company. I don't even have it on my current watch list.
Yeah. And then Nora was asking about Texas Roadhouse. Now that is something definitely not on my radar at all.
I didn't know that was a publicly traded company. Like I've always wanted to go there as a patron, but I haven't made it there yet. They're a bit pricey. The time that I was gonna go, I waited too long to get there, and they were already closed. Texas Roadhouse. I gotta write that down. I didn't know they were a publicly traded company.
It's TXRH. So yeah, they 6 months they're up 43.17%. Nora, are you looking at it as a trade? Is something going on? Is there some news catalyst that you're taking a look at? Slightly down on the week, 1.55%. But yeah, not familiar with it.
I
Anybody
don't
else?
really have take much interest to those particular type of companies for long-term investments. Like you have
Mhm.
McDonald's that's been around forever. That's a good investment, individual company investment, but I don't currently own it. Um, I really don't see much room for growth. Like when I look at individual companies I would like to be exposed into, I look at the growth potential. Like if it's a company that's already proven them that they have a proven track record, a proven history financially, they've been around forever. they really don't have too much room to grow, in my opinion. They've already done their growing while we were being consumers, while we were growing up, as far as McDonald's is concerned.
Mhm.
I'm not sure the history of Texas Roadhouse. I don't know how long they've been around,
Yeah, so
but
Nora said she was considering it for a long-term hold. Yeah, I don't
uh,
I keep it to for me personally, I keep it to larger companies.
hmm
'Cause I don't have the breakdown like you. Like I would expect that that would be what is the lowest level on your portfolio? Level 5?
hmm
Yeah, so I would assume a Texas Roadhouse would be a level 5 type of investment if I
level
was,
4, level 5. Yeah, if I were to
dabbling
invest
into it.
into it,
Yeah.
no more than 1% of my entire portfolio. Same goes for if I were to invest into McDonald's, although I do believe McDonald's pays a dividend, but it will
Mhm.
still only be that small percentage of my portfolio, simply because I already own it inside of an ETF.
Yeah. Yeah. So who else? Robert was not Robert. Eddie was mentioning about Soundhound, but I think that's it for today. I think only one person answered my question, and they said Curtis. Curtis said that Sunday is his favorite show.
Mine too. Mine too. To be 100% honest, Sunday is my favorite show as well.
Really?
Although I do go live 3 times a week, but it's a lot sometimes, especially when I'm trying to actually trade. It's kind of hard explaining what I'm doing, where I'm getting in at, where I'm getting out at, and I'm not yet fast enough to even put a screenshot on the screen to show proof that I'm doing what I say I'm doing. Like,
Mhm,
I know a
mhm,
lot of other content creators out here be faking and things of that nature, and it's hard. Some days it's tough, especially on a day where the market's really not doing much.
mhm,
It's it can be a little emotionally draining some days, but I continue to stay consistent because it's something that I chose to do. And the last thing I want to do is give up on this channel like I did my previous channel because things weren't going my way. It wasn't growing the way I wanted it to grow, and life happened. And on top of that, like, I had some issues in my personal life that happened last year, and still going through personal issues. Like, I may sit and come up here and smile every day, but Prez is going through a lot behind the scenes, so it gets rough some days. But I noticed that I have my best shows the days where I really don't feel like doing it. The days where I wake up that morning and say I should just put on my community tab, live stream cancel today. They the days that I have my best shows. I come up with some sort of inspirational message for that day. Those are the best days that I perform. On those days, I really don't feel like doing it.
okay, okay. Well, I will be tuning in tomorrow morning, and I know you may not want to go this direction, but I'm going to say it. I have not paid. I'm a member. I have 8 Discords. I just took a look at my phone. I have 8 Discords. Only one of them is a paid Discord, but it's a way to share more quickly those screenshots if you're not able to get them on the computer. Maybe
Hmm
share them to your Instagram story or share them on another platform that you can share easily to if that's something that's been that you want to incorporate.
hmm
But just a suggestion, and of course, I'll be there
You
watching
got
you.
a super chat.
I did.
Yes.
Oh, I don't see that. Oh, thank you, Curtis.
Curtis
Appreciate
Moore
that.
says, "Are you guys going to stock up on DJT stock Monday? Have a feeling it's going to soar. Me personally, no, I'm not touching it. All money's not good money, in my opinion. This was a tragic event. Like, somebody almost lost their life, y'all. Like, I'd be better off just trading a spy of QQQ. Now, I
Mm.
know it could possibly be an opportunity for someone, but for me, my own more personal morals and principles, like, no, I'm not touching it. I'll report it. I'll put it on the watch list and give you updates as to the price performance of it. But other than that, I'm not touching it. I'll be on the sidelines watching this one. Sorry.
I don't plan on trading it. I'm gonna yes, Keenan did cover it in his video this afternoon. If you guys do want to check that out, it includes Oh,
You have another super chat.
you do too.
Shout out to big little bro, Keenan Grace.
Thank you so much, Keenan. I appreciate that. Just like Larry, Prez, I got you.
Okay.
I will be sending you your cuts.
Neo messing with me again. He asked me about, am I going to buy Rivian on Monday? I doubt it. I missed that opportunity to get into that trade. Now, Neo, I wish I would have listened to you when you said something about it in my live stream a couple weeks ago. He told me don't sleep on Rivian, and I said, nah, I don't think I want to touch it. I really don't believe in the company, not even for a trade. But that's an opportunity that I missed out on it. But it's always a bull market somewhere. There will always be other opportunities for me to get in on individual companies. Just because I miss out on something, like, it's no worries. I'm gonna make money elsewhere regardless because I'm a trader. You know, I, I'm a trader, so I'm gonna make money elsewhere regardless. My main go-tos are the SPY and QQQ. They are safe for me as far as how my own personal risk tolerance is built. Like,
Mhm.
I'm about to be 46 years old. Like, I don't have the same risk tolerance as someone who's in their early 20s or early 30s or someone in that age bracket. Like, I'm almost at the age where I'm ready to hang up my boots and enjoy being a grandpa. You understand what I'm saying? Like, for those who don't know, I am a grandfather, so I'm at that age. My risk tolerance isn't really built to and trade and invest into. I mean, not invest. Well, trade individual hype stocks and things of that nature. But if I were, I would sure. You better believe I will be using a stop loss. I will be paying close attention to news catalysts and things of that nature.
Yes. So, Curtis, in the pre market, watch it and take a look at Keenan's video. Keenan Grace that's on the screen right now. Take a look at his video that he put out this afternoon, and that should help you to navigate if you do price levels on if you do decide to get into DGT or potentially this week dabble into DJTWW. So take a look at that. And I
Yeah,
think
that Trident method, man. He changed the game with that one. I've been actually practicing on trying to make trident levels myself. Like, I've been really watching, and like I said, I'm still a student in the game, just like we all are. But when I learn something, I like to share it with other people because I am a fast learner. I'm also a visual learner, so I be watching, I be studying, I be constantly reading different books and things of that nature, and listening to other influencers and content creators, and not necessarily saying that I'm going to do what they say do or do what they're doing, but I'm able to take this information with a grain of salt, and I'm able to now know where to go to do my own research and things of that nature.
and also I take some guidance from it as to what is an investment and what is a trade, what is solid, what is proven, we can do it ourselves once we have the knowledge, but it's great to just get the breakdown of the PE ratio, the forward PE. Where is this company going? Is this something that you see growth in that you are going to hold long term? So that's how I love to examine and go about really putting that initial work in so I can add something to my portfolio and it could be in there and not be a daily worry and about, that's a trade. Trades are different. Trades for me are going to be short term, and I want to have a solid foundation and growing investments. So, all right. Any other questions or comments?
I like what Neil just said. He said that's what the community is for. Everyone has something special to offer. You're absolutely correct about that. And that's something that I thought about when I was coming up with the idea to start my own YouTube channel. Like, okay, where's my place? I'm kind of sort of like a beginner, so I can cater to the beginners. We can learn together. Like, I can learn things and I can show what I learned, things of that nature. So I like to cater more towards the ones that's not in the market yet, but are curious about the market. I like to bring more awareness to personal finance. I'm like the first step. You stop here, stop with me first, so you can learn the absolute basics because the other content creators, they're catered more towards people that are already in the market, more advanced traders, more seasoned investors, and things of that nature. To where as though I actually have the time to break down terminology with you. You understand what I'm saying? I can actually sit down and go over these terms of what is a mortgage-backed security, what is price to sales ratio, what is this and what is that, and we can go over it together, and I can break it down to a point where we all can digest it.
Mhm. And one thing that I got from hearing Larry speak a couple years back when I was in Orlando at FinCon, and he was answering a question from Mommy Trader, and other people in the audience also, but that was the first time I met her and discovered her channel. And he was saying that there's space. There is space in here because everyone is not going to want to go to the content creator that we may look to may not resonate with everyone that's coming to YouTube. They may want to come to your channel, Prez, because of the way that you're presenting things. They may be like a woman in this space. Oh, okay, let me check her out. And this might be their go-to place. So I think that we should all just, whatever it is that we're trying to accomplish for ourselves, don't feel like there's already too many people in the space and there's nowhere left for us, because what we bring to it could be totally different. So um, Nora's her YouTube name, The Stock Explorer, was another thing that I came across early on when I was going over by Kevin's channel, and I was like, oh my goodness, it just made me happy when I saw women in this space and what they were doing. And it really helped me to say, okay, Lisa, just get going with it and give it a shot. So, and now it's been over a year and a half, so I think I'm here to stay. What do you think, Press?
Yeah, I'm not going nowhere. I'm not going nowhere. I'm not going anywhere. Let the haters hate. I'm not going anywhere.
Okay. If I wasn't, I had stopped scrolling down my chat. I think it was up far. So thankfully you're watching, because
Hmm.
I didn't acknowledge either one of my super chatters today because I didn't see them. But anything else you want to talk about? It doesn't seem like we have any questions or anything left to cover. I think I'm going to start next week doing a members only live right after this live, maybe at like 3:45. I'll jump off and go over there in case any members want to have a conversation, if they have anything they want to talk about. Um, while I'm up here, and hopefully it's not today, but while I'm up here and this room is cool and I'm in my seat, I think I will try to do it together. And if you haven't already, check out my channel membership and make sure to like, subscribe. Thank you guys that have been here chatting along with us throughout this show, and using all these good reactions and emojis and all that good stuff, because that really helps our channels. All right, Prez, I'm ready to wrap it up.
Yes, I'm getting hungry.
Is Grandma making something yummy?
I smell food. That's all. That's all I know. I keep smelling food. I'm sitting in here. I'm like, I smell food. I smell food. And we've been going
Okay.
almost an hour and a half.
All right. Let's see. There was just 5 gifted memberships. Let's take a quick look before we sign off to see who got them.
Wow, awesome. Thank you for the 5 gifted memberships. Although it's not going to me, but thank you anyway. I really appreciate you helping out my partner in crime right here.
Rooted got a membership. Nice. Daryl Cherry, Brian Wall, a resilient dad, and Shayala Simpson, I think. I don't know if
It looks like that's what that said.
I don't know if I pronounced that quite right, but thank you so much. And I hope that these people are interested and come and check out what the membership holds here. So thanks for tuning in. Again, make sure to watch our videos and check out Prez's live streams throughout the week, and we will be back next Sunday. All right. Anything else, Prez, before I close it out?
If you don't find a way to make money while you sleep, you will work until you die.
Bye, guys.